And now we turn to our question of the day. In honor of the Oscars that are coming out on Sunday, February 9th, which is just 2 short days away, I thought it'd be kind of fun to ask the all important question about the Oscars. Yes, there are many categories and many predictions, but there's always one category that really truly counts. It's not about the actors and their awards or anything or original screenplay. It's always Best Picture. So let us ask, what film should win Best Picture? We're not asking for your prediction. We're asking what you think should be Best Picture. The Oscars are always filled with controversy. There are always pictures that win that shouldn't win. We're talking about an awards ceremony where there are a lot of snubs. This year has had a lot of interesting snubs, mostly by women directors and some of their films, even though other award ceremonies have recognized their talent. But when we look at the horizon of the category of all of everything that's up for Best Picture, from Knives Out to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, The Joker, Little Women, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, and even films that didn't get nominated for Best Picture. There are a lot of great films that came out in 2019. So I think it's only right that we ask the question of what film should win Best Picture. Should it be The Irishman, the same old mafia movie that we've seen over and over by a has-been director named Martin Scorsese, no matter how much we like him? I mean, for me, I personally feel like I enjoyed that film the first time when it was called Goodfellas. Should it be The Joker? A weird, out-of-place type of origin story for one of the greatest villains in the DC universe that feels more like a remake of Taxi Driver by Martin Scorsese than an actual DC comic book film. Is it going to be 1917, the epic World War I pick by Sam Mendes, which is an incredible film, and the cinematography is absolutely brilliant? Will it be Little Women? Another adaptation, even though it's been done by a great female director and have this wonderful female cast. Not taking away from how great this film is. Or could it be my personal favorite, Jojo Rabbit? The, dark comedy satirical film about a kid trying to be a Nazi, but trying to understand why the Nazis hate the Jews, and of course his imaginary friend is Adolf Hitler. Played by the director Taika Waititi. It's not really about, I don't think it should be about our predictions, or do we get it right. I think it's about it should always come down to what film should win. And there are obvious films that should win Best Picture. I've always had a big gripe about the Oscars ever since 1998, when Saving Private Ryan did not win Best Picture and Shakespeare in Love did. I think it was a travesty to have some stupid romantic Shakespearean comedy just because you had a glorified cast in it. Not to say that it wasn't a good film in its own right, but it certainly wasn't any better than the Steven Spielberg directed World War II pick with Tom Hanks and Matt Damon. There are times that the Oscar kind of rewards directors by giving them the Best Picture nod. Return of the King, the last Lord of the Rings film in that trilogy. Yeah, it won Best Picture, but was it really the Best Picture that year? Against $1 Million Baby or Mystic River or my personal favorite that year, Master and Commander. It felt like that Slumdog Millionaire, even though it's worthy of Best Picture, it was kind of forced, and it was a PC movie, like it's time for India to finally get a Best Picture, but then they get snubbed in other categories. And then we have movies that come out where La La Land, which is just an homage to the golden age of Hollywood and their musicals, gets nominated. Thank God it didn't win, but I think it's fun to talk about what film should win, because if this really is about the Best Picture, the best movie, the one that not only can make us laugh, make us cry, that has everything working from it, from a great story, that it's almost damn near perfect. Okay, the one that we would watch over and over, or even if it is truly culturally relevant. Nobody denies that Schindler's List should have absolutely won Best Picture in 1994. But then again, Amistad got snubbed, and that was an absolute relevant film about slavery and kidnapping and in a dark time in American history with a great cast. But I guess you can't give the best. Not every Steven Spielberg film can win Best Picture, or Clint Eastwood. And Richard Jewell wasn't even nominated this year, and that, 25 years later, we're still dealing with the ramifications of a 24-hour news cycle that basically condemns a man who says they're guilty before all the facts are out and does sloppy reporting. God, where have we seen that before? But I would be curious to know what you think. We all would here at That Nerd Show, and we have our own hefty debates. So, what film should win Best Picture for the Oscars on Sunday night? Not what you think, but what should. What really is the best film of 2019? Share your thoughts with us on Twitter. You can tweet us out at That Nerd Show. As I said, it's a great discussion question for the weekend as we all pay close attention to the Oscars. And we will be doing our Oscar roundup on Monday. But before you go and we close this out, help support the show by buying some of our nerd swag at mynerdswag.com. You can get a Baby Yoda t-shirt. That's right, we have our own Baby Yoda t-shirts right here at That Nerd Show. There's lots of ways that you can support us, even with our Patreon account, but buying a really cool, fun, nerdy, retro t-shirt is the best way to help keep the lights on here. So, I'm Marcus Blake with That Nerd Show. Thank you for watching. This has been your daily nerd news for Friday, February 7th, 2020. Until the next time, goodbye.